Hey everyone, welcome back to Fleur Fluency, your cozy little place to learn easy, natural English through real, everyday conversations. I'm Fleur.
And I'm Haren, running on about 3 hours of sleep today. So honestly, this episode is basically a cry for help on my end.
Well, that actually makes you the ideal co-host for today. Today, we are talking about something almost every single person on Earth struggles with at some point: how to calm your mind when you're lying in bed trying to sleep.
Oh, this is personal, extremely personal for me.
Why? What happens when you go to bed?
I get into bed, fluff my pillow, close my eyes, and my brain immediately says, "Great! Finally, some quiet time. Let's review every single embarrassing thing you've ever said or done since 2009. Every single night, free of charge. Nobody asked for this service."
The 2009 memory reel is back. Mine is slightly different. Mine is less about embarrassing memories and more like a sudden emergency to-do list. At 11:30 p.m., while I'm trying to drift off, my brain goes, "Did you respond to that email from 3 weeks ago? What about that document you needed to sign?"
Exactly. Your brain waits until you're lying down in the dark when you literally cannot do anything about it. And that is when it chooses to bring up boring administrative life tasks.
It's so mean. It's like your mind is playing a trick on you. So today we're going to look at why this happens and, more importantly, what actually helps: real, practical things, not just drink chamomile tea and good luck.
Though, to be fair, chamomile tea isn't bad.
Fine. We might mention tea at some point, but we'll make sure the rest of the advice is actually useful. Let's kick things off with the most obvious question. Why does this even happen? Why does the mind become so hyperactive and loud the minute the lights go out?
Well, think about a normal daytime routine. During the day, you're busy. There are messages, phone calls, work, family, traffic, social media, 100 tiny distractions. Your brain doesn't really get a single quiet moment to sit by itself. So during the day, the room is just too noisy for your internal thoughts to be heard.
That's a great way to put it. Then at night, everything stops. You lie down, the lights are off, nobody is talking to you, and suddenly your thoughts have all the space in the world.
So the brain finally gets the room to itself, and then it picks the absolute worst topics to discuss.
Exactly. It's like your worries finally get access to the microphone. And this is where anxiety often creeps in too.
Yeah, that heavy, uncomfortable feeling in your chest.
Right. Anxiety can be small, like, did I forget to lock the back door? Or it can feel much heavier, like worrying about your future or your career. At night, the brain says, "Oh, the room is quiet? Perfect. Let's bring out all the heavy stuff."
But, in a strange way, I actually find that thought a little reassuring. Well, reassuring means it makes you feel less worried or less isolated. When you realize that millions of people experience this exact same thing every night, you realize your brain isn't uniquely broken, it's just a normal human reaction to silence.
I love that perspective. Switching your mindset from, "Why is my brain like this?" to, "Why do human brains do this when it gets quiet?" takes away a lot of the self-blame. But before we go further, we have to talk about something that makes this whole problem 10 times worse for most of us: keeping phones in bed.
Uh-oh, you're calling me out right now. But I want to push back on this popular advice. People always say, put your phone away. But for me, watching a funny 10-second video sometimes helps me switch off from my own overthinking.
I hear you. A funny video can feel relaxing in the moment, but even light content keeps your brain awake. The bright screen, the constant movement, jumping from one clip to the next, it tells your nervous system, "Stay awake, there is more information coming."
But if the choice is lying in pure darkness with my awkward memories from 2009 or watching one silly clip, I'm picking the phone every time.
Fair point. But let's distinguish between watching one funny clip and what most people actually end up doing, doom scrolling. Doom scrolling means continuously scrolling through negative, sad, or infuriating content online. Bad news, scary headlines, online arguments, and you just can't stop.
Right. You open your phone for 1 minute, and 30 minutes later, you're reading an intense argument between strangers online and your heart rate is elevated.
You're literally feeding your brain chaos right before expecting it to sleep. So our rules shouldn't necessarily be never touch a phone again, but rather no chaos before sleep.
No chaos before sleep. I like that. That should be our tagline. So when racing thoughts start taking over, when one thought jumps to another and another, what is a practical tool someone can use right there in bed?
Something that genuinely works for a lot of people is a brain dump. It's super simple. You keep a physical notebook by your bed. Before you sleep, or if you wake up overthinking, you write down every single thing swirling in your head. Tasks, worries, reminders, even angry thoughts.
So instead of forcing your brain to hold on to all those thoughts, you put them on paper. That actually makes total sense. And it doesn't need to be a neat diary or a deep philosophical journal, right?
Not at all. It can literally say, buy milk, stop overthinking that job interview, why is my pillow lumpy? The goal isn't beautiful writing. The goal is emptying the mental container. What about the physical environment? Because room setup makes a huge difference too.
Temperature is huge for me. If the room is even a tiny bit too warm, my brain refuses to relax. I need a cool room and a light blanket.
See, I'm the complete opposite. If I feel a cold draft on my feet, I just lie there worrying about how cold I am.
The eternal temperature disagreement. But the one physical factor everyone can agree on is total darkness. Even small lights, like a glowing charger, signal to your brain that it should stay alert. A dark, quiet room gives your mind a clear message. The day is officially finished.
Now, let's slow down and highlight the key vocabulary from today's conversation in our word overview segment. 1. Racing thoughts. Fast, continuous thoughts that jump from topic to topic. I couldn't sleep last night because I had racing thoughts about my workload. 2. Brain dump. Writing down everything in your mind onto paper. Doing a quick brain dump before bed really helped stop my mind from spinning. 3. Doom scrolling. Continuously scrolling through negative news. I realized doom scrolling before bed was making my anxiety worse. 4. Wired. Feeling alert or hyperactive despite being exhausted. I was exhausted after traveling, but my mind still felt wired. 5. Reassuring. Something that makes you feel less worried. It is reassuring to know that many people struggle with nighttime overthinking.
Now let's move on to Say It Better, where we take basic learner sentences and make them sound more natural and conversational. Basic. My brain is not stopping. 2. My mind won't calm down tonight. Basic. I am thinking too much. 2. I'm overthinking everything right now. Basic. I watched phone too much. 2. I spent too much time scrolling on my phone. Basic. I'm tired but not sleepy. 2. I'm exhausted but I still feel wired. Basic. I need to stop thinking. 2. I need to give my mind a place to rest.
Tonight, we challenge you to try just one small thing. Maybe grab a notebook and try a quick brain dump. Maybe put your phone away 20 minutes earlier to avoid doom scrolling. Or maybe just make your room as dark as possible.
And if your brain decides to bring up awkward memories from 10 years ago, just gently tell it, not tonight. We can talk about that tomorrow.
Thank you so much for joining us on Fleur Fluency today. If this podcast helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's learning English. Sleep well, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.